Hey everybody, Rich Lang back in the bunker at PrepU. Hey, today's video is our third in the series of our supply series. And this one we're going beyond, obviously the first two. Our first one was just starting out as far as acquiring supplies, storing supplies and stuff like that. Our second one was enhancing your supplies, and that was basically, going from just your store-bought stuff to longer shelf life, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 25 years. In today's video, we're calling this Supplies Beyond Food and Water because you are going to need other stuff beyond food and water, and you've seen it in a couple of our bins in our What the Heck is in That Bin series, which we'll have another one coming up very shortly. But in this video, we're going to discuss other items you need to consider and acquire to store to survive a disaster. And these are basically non-food items, like I said. Water, obviously you need all those, and we'll bring it all together in our fourth and final video of this series, and we'll just list everything that you need and actually show you some lists that you can work off of. But what we're looking at when we're talking about non-food and water items are maps. Not only backups to your GPS in your phone, maybe a handheld GPS. You could also work with satellite phones if you have the money. But we're talking hard copies of the maps. Look at the maps for your area, your state, the states around your state, and maps that you would need to get to wherever your final location for your bug out's going to be. You want hard copies because you don't know if you're going to have access to your phone. Internet might be down, GPS might be down for whatever reason. Don't forget, it is a military item. They can shut it off at any time they want to, and they can also distort it for however they want in times of crisis. So don't forget about your maps. Medical supplies and medical kits, we've discussed that. All your cars need to have medical kits, and don't forget extra over-the-counter and prescription medication. You want to make sure that you're set there. If you have the money and your pharmacist or your insurance company allows it, get extra of whatever kind of medication and rotate it. We're big on rotation. Alternate power, generators, fuel, electrical cords, electrical items, and solar chargers. There's tons out on the market on this. I just saw one the other day. It looks like a small wallet. It unfolds, and there's solar panels in that, and you can actually hang it from your backpack. Actually, we have one on those on order, and we're going to show that to you in one of our videos. We're going to start doing a Look What I Bought series. We're going to look at it, play with it, and see if it's even worth it. Your generators. Everyone would love to have a Generac outside with a transfer case. You lose power, it automatically kicks on, and you don't lose anything. That's great. If you got $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, laying around, and you can do that. Also, how long are you going to stay in your home? Are you going to be a kind of a shelter-in-place home? You might want to have that. You also want to kind of have it hidden because you don't want other people hearing that your generator's running, because they're going to go, oh, they've got power. So let's see what they've got. That's you want to know when to run that generator too. The smaller generators, just if you want to run a freezer and a refrigerator, or if you have auto ignition on or auto light on your stove. If you don't want to keep lighting it with a match, you might want to run some power to your stove. But definitely your food stores, your refrigerator and your generator, or not generator, and your freezer. And don't forget about your sump pumps, all right, because your battery backup won't last forever. So that's something to think about. Transportation items, extra fuel. Always have extra fuel in your garage for whatever. Fuses, tools, full-size spare, if you can put it in there. Winter and summer car kits, we've talked about that in the past. You want to make sure that when you're out and about that you always have water, you always have something in case you get stuck in the snow. You've got blankets and candles and stuff like that. Other things to store: personal hygiene items, soap, shampoo, tooth and mouth care, women's items. Don't forget about the women's, guys. It's kind of important. Manicure kits, stuff to keep your hands and nails and stuff taken care of. Bug and sun lotions, over-the-counter and script meds, like I talked about. Towels and laundry soap, pretty important to have. Toolkits, we all overlook our toolkits. Make sure your toolkits are good and ready to go. Fishing and trapping items, you should always have something like that, especially fishing items. Doesn't have to be fancy. You don't need, you know, the latest reel or rod or whatever, just to have something available. Something collapsible that you can carry is really important. Informational library, that's going to be our next what the heck is in the bin article, but this is what I'm talking about, is having something small. I actually have 3 of these, and we talk about informational library. This is just stuff you have around the house. You know, here's a great book, The Ultimate Guide to the U.S. Army Survival. Something to have with you, take it with you. You know, your Bushcraft 101, really good to have if you need it. If you're in scouting and you did merit badges, there are all kinds of little books like this that are going to help you. But gather them. If you got them around the house, just put them in one spot so they're available for you. Also, articles out of magazines. One thing I subscribe to is Spy and Survival Briefing. These come in. These are monthly items that you can talk about different things to keep yourself safe at home, on the road, traveling, winter, summer, all that kind of stuff. Spy and Survival Briefing. The guy that runs that is Jason Hansen. He's an ex-CIA agent. If you get a chance, go to his website. Absolutely fantastic. But we're going to show you some of the stuff that we have in our informational library. Camping supplies we've talked about, but let's go over it again. Tents, bags, pads, boots, stoves, and fuel. Dry bags, fire starters, knives, life straws, all that kind of stuff you want to make sure that you have in a location where you can get them to. Adult beverages, it falls in the liquid and the food items, but you know, it's nice to have, especially if you've had a rough day and you just want to relax. It's also a great barter item. We've talked about that before. Along with extra ammunition is a great barter item. Miscellaneous supplies that you really want to gather, have in one spot. Sewing kit, scissors, games and cards, duct tape, flashlights, batteries. Garbage and Ziploc bags are really nice to have around because you can store your stuff from getting wet. It's also good to double up on your stuff. Dry bags, you guys that have gone canoeing or kayaking or hiking, you know what dry bags are. You just put everything inside there so it doesn't get destroyed. And clothing, always keep a supply of clothing so you're not going crazy gathering all up. And I'm talking about winter and summer, where you live as to where you're going to go. Make sure you have stuff like that around. But these are, you know, the non-food items. It's pretty simple, pretty common things. Just look at what you use every day and what you might need every day and have those available. And the questions that we've always gone over as far as, you know, your supplies and stuff like that. Can you store your supplies so they are safe? Can you acquire your supplies at a moment's notice? Is your store around the corner or 30, 40, 50 miles away? Do natural disasters in your geographic region give you time to go get supplies? If not, get them ahead of time. Can you take supplies with you if you have to bug out, and will they not be destroyed if left behind? Basically, compact everything. Put everything in small packages and not suitcases, bags. Bags are better because they fit better. Do you have the space to store at home? Do you have a dry location, bug-free? How much can you afford? Is it better to have a little more of what you already buy? And we talked about that. Don't start showing out all kinds of money for a bunch of stuff. Just add to your grocery list. Just add a little bit here and there, and slowly go on these websites, and sometimes they have great sales on their 25-year shelf life items, and do that. And we talked about rotation, extra prescription medication. But, you know, those are some of the questions, and these are the things that we talked about. Like I said, I'm going to include these in the last video in lists. so everybody can actually take a screenshot of that. So I understand this is a lot. There's a lot of items here, and that's why we're going to do the list. And only you can decide what you want. So you might say, oh gosh, you're crazy. You don't really need that. And you might be right. Or there might be something that I've left out that you need. You have to look at your family needs. Just look at it a daily, weekly, monthly basis, what you use and what your individual family and members of the family needs. I mean, base this on your family, dollar needs or dollar available, where you live, where you might bug out to, and can I get these items at a moment's notice or along the way. That's another thing. Maybe you don't need to carry all this stuff. Maybe you can just buy it along the way, but other people are thinking the same thing. So what you need to do is just be aware of what's going on. Follow the news, follow especially local news, and see what's happening, and weather patterns and stuff like that. Like here in Chicago, we're in the middle of another snowstorm, and it's the end of April. So not unusual. It happens. But like I've said, keep aware of your surroundings and just be prepared. So thank you. That's the third in our series in supplies and storage. If you like it, please subscribe. I appreciate any comments to our videos. Like it. Now, that always looks good to the masters that be at YouTube. We appreciate it and keeps us going. But yeah, so like, comment, subscribe. That's always important. So for now, that's about it. Appreciate your time watching this video, and keep aware of your surroundings, and make sure that you are able to be self-sufficient for up to 72 hours. And please, prep like your life depends on it, because it really does. Thank you.